Zack Snyder had a grandiose vision for the DCEU, his Snyderverse that he, truly never got to explore. But now with his new Armyverse and potential new universe with Rebel Moon, he's inspired by what he did and the world that he was building with Justice League. Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix. My name is Chris Wong. Now, it seems like a long time ago when Zack Snyder left the DCEU and left Warner Brothers altogether. But he left an incredible legacy, which is Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut. And even teasing all those whiteboards before in all the different plans he was going to do. Not only was he going to have this huge 5-part Superman arc, starting with Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League 1, 2, and 3, he was also shepherding the branching arms of the DCEU. He helped with Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad. He was going to delve his hands a little bit into Aquaman, and then before the studio took over, there were plans to do the Atom, Cyborg, the Batman. There are so many branching parts, so many different layers to his DCEU. But obviously he didn't own that IP, so probably why Warner Bros. Said, no, we're not going to let you shepherd this whole thing. Which is unfortunate because that universe could still, happen on, I don't know, HBO Max one day. Until then, he's going to get to explore different IPs over on Netflix. His own IPs, his own original work, movies that he can create and extend and expand and branch off from, building layer after layer of cinematic content in his own Snyderverse on Netflix. Now, the Armyverse that he coined himself, yeah, he really did say that, hashtag Armyverse, everyone, started off with Army of the Dead, which seemed like a very simple zombie heist film. Then it started branching off to Matthias Schweighöfer's Army of Thieves. Then they were going to have Army of the Dead Lost Vegas, an animated prequel. Then eventually they're going to have the sequel to Army of the Dead, which is Planet of the Dead. Also Twilight of the Gods. Remember that animated series that he was producing with Jay Oliva? It's pretty cool to see bits of that story being told by Dieter when he was talking about the ring cycle in Army of Thieves. But the one thing I really dig about Zack Snyder's work on Army of the Dead and the DCEU Snyderverse is the mythological element of it, and the way it kind of loops in past, present, and future, possible futures, different timelines, and this idea of having premonitions and prophecy. Because the reason why I actually enjoy Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice more than Man of Steel is the look into what the future holds after Batman v Superman. Something that doesn't quite happen often or enough is the world building that was in that one Batman v Superman movie. You do see Batman having a nightmare visions of his eventual conflict with an evil Superman. There's so many layers in that, but basically he's seeing a version of himself in the future, in which the timeline is now again different. Because we know from future storyboards, that's not how Batman dies. Superman doesn't kill him in the tunnel. So we know that that's like one version of a timeline, which is eerily similar to Matthias Schweighöfer's Army of Thieves, where you do see the character Dieter actually getting premonitions, nightmares, maybe his death or a different parallel universe or something. Army of the Dead, where Vanderohe actually talked about a possible time loop theory in which they've done this before. Those corpses are them. Are they doing it over and over? And that's the mystery of these movies. Zack Snyder or Matthias Schweighöfer doesn't dwell on it too much. They give little pieces of hints and information with the ability to explore later on, which is something that Batman v Superman was kind of setting up, but we never got to explore further.
I had a dream, almost like a premonition.
I think it's something more. Something darker.
Because we know after Zack Snyder's Justice League, there is going to be a Justice League 2 and 3. And it could still happen, just saying. But that setting up, those seeds that were supposed to grow, was immensely exciting and interesting. Which makes it even more epic and bigger than just one movie. And Zack Snyder absolutely loves to put these Easter eggs, put these seeds in his movies to show you the potential for future movies, future layers to this whole universe. In fact, he did this in Army of the Dead as well.
Things in Army of the Dead that not many people have noticed, I don't think, is that when they go into the Olympus Hotel, there's a sort of a relief, a painting above the doorway. It's kind of, the Olympus is based on sort of Greek mythology, so it has kind of a Greek classic entrance, and in like a fresco above the doorway tells a little bit of the story of the animated prequel that we're making and how they journey through a portal to find the origins of the zombie plague is told in that weird little mosaic.
Portals? Did he just say portals? I mean, I can't help but think, does he mean like they opened up like a boom tube to the planet of the dead or something? Since I started this parallel between the DCEU Snyderverse and his Armyverse, I'm going to say that I don't know if this is going to happen, but it'd be pretty nuts like in the future in the planet of the dead, where Dieter actually has to go up against Vanderohe or something. Vanderohe is the new alpha zombie. He's the bad guy. Dieter, who, interestingly enough, his name, Ludwig Dieter, is like the army of the people, and Vanderohe would be the leader of the dead. By the way, Vanderohe is an interesting name. That is actually the name of Ludwig Vanderohe, who is an architect. Does that mean like Vanderohe is like the architect of the dead? I mean, it's shaping up to be a pretty epic conflict there, almost like Batman going up against Superman. But you see these little elements that seem to be building up to something greater, something bigger, but it doesn't tell you right now, here and there. It's this patience of going through the different layers, going through the different movies and building this universe as they go along. In fact, Zack Snyder himself told Looper, Zack Snyder's Justice League and the world he was building in the DCU actually inspired his Armyverse. I think if you look at what we're trying to do with Army of the Dead, Army of Thieves, Army Animated, the whole Army universe, the thing I think that I got from doing Justice League is that sort of epic world building, that sort of epic mythological kind of multi-layered world of making something that's rich for the fans that they can really enjoy a full meal. And they can keep eating until you explode, Snyder observed for Looper. The fun of that and the joy from really filling in all the corners of the DCU was the same. That experience really made me go like, God, I really want to whole cloth something like that. And the Army universe has given us the opportunity in a really fun way. We hope to continue doing it. And continue doing it they are, because not only is he building the Armyverse, if you will, he's also building another universe, and that is Rebel Moon. Now, if you remember, Rebel Moon was his original concept for his Star Wars spin-off movie, where it's like Seven Samurai meets Star Wars. But now, because it's on Netflix and he's getting to create his own Star Wars-esque universe, or basically his own sci-fi film at this point, he's getting a chance to build another universe. More layers, more mythological elements. This is really cool. Now, Rebel Moon is set in a peaceful colony on the edge of the galaxy that finds itself threatened by the armies of the tyrannical Regent Belisarius. They dispatch a young woman with a mysterious past to seek out warriors from neighboring planets to help them take a stand against the tyrant. And that is going to start shooting on May 2022, so I'm really excited for that. And it seems to be coming along well, because Zack Snyder taps Sofia Boutella to star in his new sci-fi adventure, Rebel Moon, at Netflix. Now that's fantastic. I'm kind of wondering if he had her in mind to include her in some type of project in the future, whether it was in the DCU or maybe another project, because, she was there at the London events hanging out with the Justice League guys. I mean, that was one of the biggest mysteries. I remember when we were talking Grail and Supergirl, but now she's going to play the lead role in Rebel Moon. So it's really awesome to see Zack Snyder flex his muscles over on Netflix, building his own little mini universes over there. Armyverse, Rebel Moonverse, or Moonverse. What about his DCEU? Well, like I've said before, he doesn't own the IP. That's all Warner Brothers right now. If there was a chance in the future that maybe that he could come back and finish off his Justice League, or, shepherd some new projects over there, that could happen. Not right now. Right now, I'm really excited to see what he's got in store for the Armyverse and the Moonverse.